Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, for the record, Attorney Brian Wolf from the Wolf Law Firm. Together with me here is Attorney Katrina Ross, Senior Associate of the firm, on behalf of Mr. Berrios.
Thank you. And you have sufficient enough time to prepare for today's hearing as well?
Yes, we have, hearing officer.
Are you ready to move forward?
Yes, we are.
We will now review the charges that the state, your parole officer, is bringing against you and the information underlying each charge. On charge 1, condition of obedience to the law, the charging officer reported on 1/11/24, you were observed by several patrons and staff of Cornerstone Pool and Aquatics getting into close proximity and staring at a small child receiving swimming lessons. Upon being asked to move away, you were reported as raising your voice and swearing in full view of the public, which included several small children. West Hartford Police was contacted at this time. For your behaviors and actions, you were subsequently arrested and charged with Connecticut General Statute 5321, risk of injury to a minor, and Connecticut General Statute 53A 182, disorderly conduct. At the preliminary hearing held on February 2nd, 2024, the state exhibits were identified. However, the following are additional exhibits submitted. Addendum to Exhibit D, parole violation report, which reads, per parole and community services, subject was found guilty on disorderly conduct 53A 182 on 4/16/2024 under docket H14H CR 24-0761535-S out of Hartford GA 14. Subject's charge of risk of injury to child was nollied. Subject was sentenced to 3 months jail, execution suspended, conditional discharge of 1 year. Counsel, did you receive the notice of parole violation report, and other documents I just marked for identification purposes?
We did, yes.
Did you review this information?
Yes, we did.
At the preliminary hearing held on February 2nd, 2024, the defense exhibits were identified. However, the following are additional exhibits submitted. Exhibit 8, transcript of proceedings dated 4/16/2024. Exhibit 9, support letter from Elizabeth Roback. Exhibit 10, support letter from Thomas Roback. And Exhibit 11, support from Ida Rivera. Counsel, do you need to continue this hearing to obtain any further evidence?
No, we do not.
Today, we have no witnesses. It is now the defense opportunity to call any witnesses, present evidence, and speak to any of the evidence submitted.
We have no specific physical witnesses present, or do we need to have them present, Madam Hearing Officer?
Okay. Would you like to make us?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
for it.
sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. My apologies. I'd like to make note that Mr. Berrios was released on parole on February 14th, 2020. Since that time, he has gotten married to Elizabeth Roback, who has submitted a letter. He has integrated himself into a family of the Roback family.
Counsel, I don't mean to interrupt. In regards to the charges itself, we will get to the statement that you're making, but we want to know if you have a statement regarding the charges in itself.
I do have it.
Okay.
I would like to indicate that you will hear directly from Mr. Berrios, who will admit to the fact of inappropriate behavior while at the pool. He was not randomly at the pool. He spends a lot of time at the Cornerstone Pool. He's a well-known member of the pool. He goes there, and most of the time he goes there to the swimming pool and to the weight room because he has a leg problem and he does his physical therapy in the pool. When he arrived at the pool and after doing weights, he went to the pool and was in the pool when he was looking at an instructor, swimming instructor, showing a child how to swim. Mr. Berrios was just interested in learning how the instructor was teaching the child. He is now a stepfather, natural father of a stepfather, the natural mother being Elizabeth Roback, his current wife, who happens to be an attorney in Connecticut. While he was looking at this, observing this, the complaining witness initiated a conversation with him, which was as follows, and it's on the record. It's in the plea and sentencing transcript that you have which submitted as a transcript. Okay, we don't want, and the F word, trash here. Because she initiated this. Mr. Berrios knows he should have just decided just to walk away from it. He's on special parole, but he did use some expletive deletives at the pool. What he did attempt to do was to leave the area and went to the manager of the pool, and the manager of the pool basically told him, "Don't worry, Jose, we just stay around here." At that time, the woman who had initiated this verbal altercation started calling the police. He immediately picked up his phone and called his parole officer. But by that time, the police officer from the West Hartford Police Department arrived at the pool area. I would like to add that it's been represented to us, and I made it represented to the court at the time of his plea and sentencing, that she did not call dispatch at 911 at the West Hartford Police Department. She called a friend of hers whose husband was the police officer, who actually then contacted her husband, who then arrived at the pool. He was completely compliant with everything that went on. And he, as I said, he tried to reach his parole officer. As he saw her calling the police, and she said, "I'm calling the police," he texted his parole officer. His parole officer had, unfortunately at the time, he has his cell phone, which has that call, did not have alerts on his phone. Notwithstanding, he was taken to the West Hartford Police Department. He was charged with the risk of injury to a minor. He was charged with the disorderly conduct. We discussed this in time matter with the prosecutor from the Hartford GA-14 court, as you will notice from the transcript. And in the transcript and in the disposition, he pled guilty to the disorderly conduct under the Alpha Doctrine. And then the prosecutor made a specific statement that they could not prove the risk of injury to a minor because he had, and I use her words, he had no contact with the minor at all. He has been in custody now for 125 days. As I said again, he's been on parole for 4.5 years without incident, which is pretty good. He's now changed his life. He's living with his wife. He has a stepson. The 2 letters that were submitted by Miss Elizabeth Roebuck, his current wife, and his father-in-law, Thomas Roebuck, also an attorney in Hartford. Was a very
Attorney Wolf, again, regarding the charge itself, please. Thank you.
The charge itself, he pled under the Alpha Doctrine, which, as you well know, he agrees with some or none of the facts. But he will himself admit that he should have walked away from this thing and it should not have engaged. So based upon the fact that he has already served 125 days in custody after being remanded on his special parole, I respectfully submit that once the hearing officer hears directly from Mr. Berrios, that you recommend that he be released immediately.
Would you like to make a closing statement before I announce my findings? Mr. Berrios.
Yes, please. On that day, I capture now, serving this time, that I take full responsibilities for my actions. I know that I was there at the pool as my routine prior to what I do for my therapy for my right leg. Um, I was also afraid and nervous. So when she came up to me and called me effing trash, I didn't know what to say. So I also said, "That's your effing problem." Then I went to the manager to go get help and to leave. And the manager said to me, "I don't want you to leave. I'm going to talk to her." But by that time, the lady was already upset. And that's when the cops already showed up. So I just stood there and contacted my family in the family chat. I also contacted my parole officer, Anthony Dunn, through a phone call and through text to notify him what's going on. But his phone was shut off, so were his notifications. So I just felt like it's just do whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I didn't mean to harm anyone or disrespect anyone. I didn't know that this was gonna happen. This was just a blink of an eye. I've been out for 4.5 years without any incident, no trouble, from serving almost 11 years of my life for something foolish that I did when I was younger. I've been complying with every parole officer that I had since I've been out. I've been taking care of my mom, all her doctor's appointments. I work full time. I've been clean, no dirty urines for nothing. And I thought that by going through what I went through was how successful I would become when I was home. And prior to this right here has shown me that things can happen, and I gotta also learn how to not react to other people's feelings, and maybe just take a chill pill and learn how to go get help immediately instead of saying something I shouldn't have said.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
On
you.
chart, on, ch- on, I am now going to go over the findings. On charge one, I find that you violated condition of obedience to the law. Your conviction of disorderly conduct on April 16, 2024, and the evidence provided in support of the charges, which are Exhibit A, parole conditions, Exhibit D, parole violation report, which details the court's conviction, and Exhibit E, West Hartford Police Report, and as well as today's testimony. This concludes the fact-finding portion of the hearing. Before I make my recommendation, the state will have an opportunity to speak to your background and history. Again, the state is not present today. So, Mr. Barrios, do you wish to make a statement regarding your violation background history at this time, or your counsel?
I believe, no, I will just make a brief statement. You've heard, I think, everything we need to say at this point in time. I honestly believe I've got to know Jose. I've got to know his family, his wife, his father-in-law. He's now a part of that family. I ask you, please, he's been in for 125 days. He needs to get back to his family. He takes care of his mother. He works as an employee at the law firm of his wife in West Hartford. I ask you to please recommend that he be immediately released back to parole. And of course, if there's the conditions of parole, which will include the conditions of his conditions pertaining to his plea to the disorderly conduct of the 3 months suspended, but the 1 year conditional discharge, and the no contact with either that mother or the child. That would be most appreciated, and I believe that the equities in this matter demonstrate that they do. Thank you.
Do you have anything else to wish to say before I make my recommendation? Either counsel or Mr. Barrios?
No, we don't.
So where would you be residing? Do you have a sponsor?
Yes, ma'am.
Who would be your sponsor?
That would be my wife.
That is Elizabeth Roback.
Oh. And you said you would have employment at the law firm as well?
Yes, ma'am.
I recommend that your parole be revoked and that you serve a 4.5 month period of confinement as a sanction with a re-parole date on May 30th, 2024. I also recommend the following additional conditions: no contact with victims AT, JC, BS, RC, and IK. Behavioral management program for anger management. General no contact with Cornerstone Pool and Aquatics located in West Hartford. My findings and recommendations will be forwarded to the board. The board may let my recommendation of the sanction stand or impose a sanction longer than what I have recommended. If the board decides to impose a sanction longer than what I have recommended, then a supplemental hearing will be held. Before the hearing, the board will provide you with a written notice documenting the specific reasons or reason why they might want to exceed my recommendation. During the supplemental hearing, you will have an opportunity to respond to those specific reasons while in front of a panel of the board.
Just want to note on the record that 5/30/2024 re-parole date and the 4.5-month sanction goes back to the date that Mr. Berrios was remanded into custody. And that 5/30/2024 is the board review. At that time, the board would review the case and will decide if they're going to approve the recommended, like she stated, the recommended re-parole date. If so, then your special parole offender, I believe. So you'll be re-released on that day if they agree to her recommendation. If they don't, you'll be notified.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This concludes the revocation hearing, and I'm now going off record. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
both.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Thank
care.
you for hearing. Thank you for hearing me.
Take care.
Thank you, Wolf.
You're all set, Mr. Berrios. You can exit the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Didn't I leave? Leave.
Later, Wolf.
Let's continue. Right.
I gotta tell you, this entire thing, it just smells fishy. How can you be at a school, at a pool, a public pool, and a mom actually gets to the point where she thinks you're looking at her child taking swimming lessons? Then you have to have the attorney show up with his proper British accent and say, my client wasn't looking at the child while he was just having crumpets. And it's like, really? I mean, what's going on here? Now, Sir Richard has in the notes what he was initially served his stint for. Listen to this. March 7, 2007. Police say a city man tried to avoid failing a narcotics test that had been ordered by his parole officer. Now, I don't know what he was in for at that time that he had a parole officer, but by asking, so by his parole officer in 2007 said, I need you to pee in a cup. Now, he, if you can believe it or not, was in an elementary school attending his nephew's birthday party when this rocket scientist over here went into the bathroom. Now listen to what he said. Police say that he went to a boy's bathroom and offered $10 to at least 6 students if they would agree to urinate in a plastic cup for him. Police say that at least one boy was provided a urine sample in exchange for the cash, while another boy was paid even though he did not provide the sample. And that's one smart kid. He probably realized he had blackmail on his hands right there, and he got the $10. Now, when one of the boys arrived home from school Thursday afternoon with a $10 bill in his pocket, the boy's mother asked him how he got the cash. Way to go, Mom. Now, when the boy explained what had happened, police said that the mother called the school, and the school officials determined that it was our prince over here that was at the school earlier that day. Now, he had gone to the birthday party with his sister, who was also facing charges after police said she initially claimed that she did not know anything about her brother's activities in her first statement. Denise, her brother, told police that she had noticed her brother missing during her son's party, but could not find him, police said. She later returned to the police headquarters to admit that she agreed to give $1 to a student who provided a urine sample for her brother. What? she? I mean, these guys are like, what? I got $10, so let me get some more. And she's like, oh, here's $1. I mean, can you imagine? And this prince, some attorney married him. Are you kidding me? Women, what is wrong with you? Will you say this all with ladies? Please, I'm not, this is not like a blanket statement. I'm sure someone needs to explain to me. Are there really so few good men out there that this is like, what is it? There's something in the water in Connecticut. Now, a student who had provided urine sample for her brother, police said, was charged. Okay. Police said Denise was charged with second degree providing false statement, and she had to appear in Superior Court on March 16th. Police have obtained a warrant charging Jose with 6 counts of risk of injury to a minor, 1 count of unlawful restraint. As of Tuesday afternoon, police had not located him. Now, May 11, 2024, New Britain Police Sergeant Wright said that Jose was set to meet with his parole officer on Tuesday, at which time he was supposed to take a narcotics test of his. Oh, no, sorry, that's not me. That's when Sir Richard put the notes in. Forget the date. So since then, the principal at home said the school has tightened its security measures since the incident. It's unfortunate because this was a relative of one of the students coming to take part in a birthday party, which is something we want to encourage. It's sad. It's an isolated incident that could have happened at any school. Can you imagine what a nitwit? He walks into the school and offers 10-year-olds a peanut cup for him. This is the prince that now do you really believe now, okay, maybe it's possible that he's at the pool minding his own business and one of the mothers there knew who he was and got pissed off. That's totally possible. It's possible he has no interest in children because the only risk of injury charged to a minor is because of this. That's totally possible. But once it just doesn't smell good. It just doesn't smell good. I believe, look, it's an easy answer. If you said, no, that mom was from the school and she simply did not want him there for those reasons. And so that's why it happened. Yeah, I could believe it. But, man, it's just disturbing. But there you have it. We'll keep tabs on him. If he lands back up in prison, we will know. And thank you, Sir Richard, for flagging this in the spreadsheet. And with that, I'll let you go.
When he arrived at the pool and after doing weights, he went to the pool and was in the pool when he was looking at an swimming instructor, showing a child how to swim. Mr. Berrios was just interested in learning how the instructor was teaching the child. He is now a stepfather, natural father of a stepfather, the natural mother being Elizabeth Roback, his current wife, who happens to be an attorney in Connecticut.